We go live for about an hour and a half. But I gotta do what I gotta do.
Can I show them my drawings?
Show 'em, man. You did me live. Prayers up, blessings up.
I drew a lettuce flower and what's this called again?
Hibiscus.
Yeah, a hibiscus flower.
That's my niece, Zeta. We did me live, man. We got a bunch of artists in this house. You better believe it. I'm trying to get everything together real quick because I'm behind schedule. And I just was like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to run it. Prayers up, blessings up. I'm trying to get everything together. I'm about to make a veggie sandwich. And I got about an hour. And then we're going to go watch How to Train Your Dragon. I'm actually excited to see this movie because I like the cartoon. And so we about to go watch that. We got Zeta and my niece Zeta and nephew Dwight in town. And they big vibing. You know what I'm saying? Prayers up, blessings up, man. I'm on what they do next. I see you. So, what's popping? I see you. Method, what's good? Kurt, what they do? Listen, do me a favor. YouTube, if you could leave a comment, I'd appreciate that because I don't know if the comments are turned on. Sometimes the comments is tripping. Dang, I forgot to put the links in there, babe. On Facebook and YouTube. Whatever, I'm just gonna run it. I meant to do that, man. What are we gonna do? Look, I'm just gonna make a veggie sandwich. I'm already behind schedule the way I wanted to. I feel like I've been behind schedule for like 2 months straight, for real. Like I've been trying to catch up to everything that need to get done for 2 months. Maybe even longer than that, but especially the last 2 months. So then me and my wife, we've been like exhausted. So we took like a 3-day vacation. And I was trying to just decompress and just relax and not have to do nothing. But then meanwhile, things needed to get done. So I'm on vacation, still working. It's a thing. So anyways, we're going to crank this thing up, though. Hold on. So what I want to do is I want to talk weight loss, man. I want to get into some weight loss tips. And because, if you don't know me, my name's Jabez. I lost 100 pounds.
Yeah.
But I did it still eating the food that I like to eat. You know what I mean? This was me in 2014. I was 250 pounds. And I ended up making my way all the way down to 160 at one point. And but the thing about it, I did it still eating, bread, the cookies, cakes, all that, man. And so on this live, I'm gonna make a veggie sandwich and I want to give out some game to help some people lose weight. And that's what this is. And so I got about 50 minutes to get this whole thing done, which is not as much time as I would have liked, but it's all good. So let me ask you, what I'm curious about is, YouTube, do me a favor, smash the like button. I see we got 55 people on the live, and we got 5 likes out of 55 people. And if TikTok, if you could tap the screen. Tap the screen and show me some love. And then if you tap my nose and hold the screen, and then it'll pop up, you can send this video to anybody that you know that want to lose weight. Smash the like button, tap the screen, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. It's all love. So I'm trying to see who's on the live right now and where y'all from, man. So represent your city in the comments. I'm trying to see something like, what city, what state, what countries is in the building. Represent your state, your city in the comments. I'm trying to see who locked in, man. Driz out of ATL, what they do, Jersey in the building. Florida, real talk. I see that's where we at. We in Florida. We down here in Miami. Orlando in the building. That's live, man. Indiana in the building. Houston in the building. I'm actually, if there's one piece of the puzzle that needs to happen, but I'm going to be in, I put my earnest money up and everything to invest in a duplex, actually, in Indianapolis. It would be my first investment property. So I'm going to actually be flying up there in a few days when everything go right. California in the building, Los Angeles in the building. Oh, man, that's live, man. That's live. What I say, Torrance, California. Corona, what they do, man. I see you, know you. The NO in the building. Shout out New Orleans. Las Vegas in the building. Big money, I see you out of Vegas. What's popping? Oh, man, that's love. Texas in the building. Trinidad. Are you still growing sugar cane? I am, and I cut one of them down, and I'm about to cut the other ones down. I've been supposed to cut them down. I just been, like I said, I've been behind schedule. But there's new ones coming up from the ground, like out of the ground. So I guess when you grow sugar cane, the roots of the sugar cane, it'll spurt up new plants. So I got new sugar cane growing up. I gotta cut the other one. If you let sugar cane go, it'll just go. It'll just go wild. Like in a few years, you'll have so much sugar cane, it'll probably blow your mind. I like shame, man. When I get more space, I want to really have a nice amount of space to just let it go. Because I like to juice it. I want to get it pressed and juice it and all that. Well, let me stay on topic because I don't got as much time as I want to have on this live. I got probably another 5 minutes. And I want to help some people lose weight. So if you got to go to lose weight, drop a 4 in the chat. If you got to go to lose weight, drop a 4 in the chat, man. Because I want to give out some game, some weight loss tips on this live. I feel like I got everything I want right here. To lose some weight right now on this live, man. Okay. See though what they do, man. I see you. Drop a 4 in the chat if you got to go to lose some weight, man. And like I said, this was me in 2014. I was 100 pounds overweight. And so I lost 100 pounds. We've helped thousands of people lose weight. And that's why I wrote my book, Life Matters, So Let's Eat Like It. Joe, I see you. Rebecca, what's popping? Chrissy, what they do? Missy, what's popping, man? Miss Lady, I see you. And that's why I wrote Life Matters, So Let's Eat Like It. I wrote this book to explain how I lost 100 pounds, but I was still eating pasta, bread, cookies, cakes, meat. All the food that I like to eat, I kept eating it. You know what I mean? And so I want to get into the details of that on this live. So if you got to go to lose weight, this live is for you. So I'm just going to jump right into it. When I first started trying to lose weight, right, I tried different things. Like I tried exercise, you know what I mean? And when I stayed consistent for a little while, I would start losing weight. If I exercise consistently, like if I get outside and run and I do some, cardio and I weights, I'll start losing weight within the first week, But if I stop exercising, the weight would come right back. And so with exercise, for me, that was the issue, was staying consistent over a couple of months. Seemed like every time I hit that couple month mark, I would kind of start falling off, and then the weight that I lost would come back, and I would gain more than what I had lost. So I dealt with that exercise. I tried different diets. I actually tried a carnivore diet once, and it actually worked. I only ate meat for it was probably a good month that I went doing that. Maybe 6 weeks, I think I might have made it, but it was definitely not 2 months. But I lost over 10 pounds, right? And I got a theory about that. I might get back to it later on this live, why that's the case, why the carnivore diet actually helped people to lose weight. I got a theory about that. But I started feeling off, like my nerves started feeling bad, you know what I mean? And so I just couldn't really stay consistent with it. When I went back to eating how I regularly was eating, I felt better, but then the weight came back on me. And I tried weight loss pills, and those it was a weight loss pill called Liposine back in the days. It was all over, had commercials all over the place going. And I tried those, and I had bought 2 bottles of it. And I got through the first bottle, and I lost almost 10 pounds. And I was still eating what I wanted to. I was still eating fast food. I didn't change how I was eating. I was just taking the pill whatever they told me to take it, whether once or twice or 3 times a day. I don't remember now because this was years ago. But I lost the weight, but it was the same kind of feeling, but different. Like my nerves started getting bad after about a month in. And I've been in sales since I was 15. You know what I mean? I've been selling things since I was 15 years old. So I work on commission and all of that. And so I noticed, like, when I was selling, it was making my sales go down because my nerves was bad and I was getting aggravated with people real easy. And I started connecting the dots. I'm like, man, I think it's this Liposine got my nerves off. So I stopped taking it, and then the weight came back. My nerves got better, but the weight came back. The point what I'm trying to make, I tried even more things than that. Try counting calories. Drop a 4 in the chat if you can relate. Like if you've ever tried something, stuck to it for a little while, it works, but then it was hard to stay consistent. You might have fell off, and then the weight came back. You might have gained more than you lost. Drop a 4 if you ever had that experience happen to you. Cito, what's popping? I see you. Self-media, I see you. D, what's good? Okay, Ruben, what's good? Kobe, I see you. All right, so okay, so that's what I'm saying. So it's a common thing, and that's why I don't like diets. I talk about this in my book. I talk about diets in my book, and why I don't like them is because the way I used to think about weight loss was like, okay, I wanted to lose 20 pounds or 30 pounds or 40 pounds, and I wanted to lose it in a certain amount of time. And so I would do a diet or I would try a thing to achieve my goal. And then once I achieved my goal, I would go back to eating the way that I used to, and then the weight would come right back. And so now what I do my best to help people with is how to have a mindset shift and about the way we even view food in general. So what I came to find out was over time, the majority of the reason why I gained the weight was because of processed foods. And I didn't understand how to identify them. And I especially didn't understand how to identify processed ingredients that was within food that's sold in the grocery store and the restaurants. So how the first thing that I did that got me on this path to where I started losing weight, and I didn't gain it back. Like it was over a period of 3 years. I lost 80 pounds. I lost most of the 100 pounds in 3 years or so, maybe a little over. But the first thing that I did was I got off fast food. And I think it's real important to note that when I went through this process of losing weight, not intentionally, but I went through the process of change at a time. And in the beginning of my weight loss journey, it wasn't intentional. But the second half of my weight loss journey, it was intentional for me to change one thing about the way that I was eating at a time to see what was working and what wasn't. All right, so let's explain. So the first thing that I changed was I stopped eating fast food. And so what made it happen was, and I actually talk about this in my book, I hit an all-time low. And so let me ask you a question. If you've ever got down on yourself because of your weight and kind of like beat yourself up psychologically, drop a yes in the chat. This is deep what I'm about to say. Because chapter three of my book is mindset. Chapter 3 of my book, right here, is mindset. It's the most important chapter of my book. Okay, Amanda keeping it real. What's up, Amanda Mills? What they do? I see you, Rebecca. Okay, Mega Rose. Now look, if I'm missing comments, apologies. We going live on 5 different phones on 5 different pages right now, man. Everybody say what's up to each other. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. This is what I honestly believe. I believe that it's not your fault. It wasn't my fault that I gained 100 pounds. You know what I mean? Who I blame is companies, and especially the people that run the companies that choose to put ingredients in their food that they sell through processes that are using heavily processed ingredients, synthetic ingredients, chemical ingredients in the food that we eating, and our bodies aren't designed to break these chemicals down that. When you look at the percentage of America that's overweight, it's about 80% of the population is overweight. That ain't no coincidence. And then this is something that I was able to connect the dots about. When you go into grocery stores, and I'm about to get into details here in a minute. When you go into grocery stores, especially how to identify processed ingredients and why they lead to weight gain. But when you go into grocery stores, once you're aware of how to choose, you'll notice most all grocery stores in this country are at least 80% of the options that are sold in the grocery store will lead you towards weight gain. 80% of the options. But good news, 20% will lead you away. You know? And then I break it down into sections. So like 20% of the bread section will lead me away from weight gain. 20% of the pasta section will lead me away from weight gain. 20% of the sugar, 20% of the seasons, 20% of... Does it make sense what I'm saying? If it makes sense about breaking the grocery stores into sections and looking at the ingredients, if that makes logical sense, that there's actually 20% of the options that will lead us away from weight gain, drop a 4 in the chat. Because I'm going to circle back to that in a minute, and it'll make even more sense. But I want, because it can be daunting, like, dang, 80% of the options will lead me towards weight gain. It could be daunting, but it's really not when you know how to break the grocery store down. All right, good, because I'm going to circle back to that. So here's the thing, and I want to make this all make sense. That's what I'm saying. If you've ever like kicked yourself or been hard on yourself mentally, I want you to like let that burden go, man. 80% of the options in the grocery stores will lead us towards weight gain, and then there's no classes in school to teach us how to identify the type of processes that are happening, that our food is getting put through in factories, and ingredients that are being used in the food that we're eating in grocery stores and restaurants. There's no education really on this, especially not in school. Most parents ain't aware of it. Most people just ain't thinking about it. So unless you're an insider and you don't know. And so we're just eating food that's available. We're not being taught how to grow food. Now they're not even, most schools don't even have home ec. We're not being taught how to cook in school. And then we're so busy trying to keep up with the economy because how money is, that's a whole nother topic. It's hard for us to teach our kids how to do anything because everybody's so busy. And so don't beat yourself up about it, is what I'm saying. Let go of that. But here's the good news. We can educate ourselves on what to look for in the grocery store, and there are options. And I honestly think why they have options in the grocery stores that are still good is because the people, this is just a theory that I have, but the same people that are making all the money off the food, they got family members that are living all throughout America, and they need to be able to get good food out the grocery store. So they sprinkle it in there. You just got to know what to look for. You just got to know what to look for, man. So check this out. So, okay, Bob. First thing that I changed was I stopped eating fast food because I believed that fast food was the whole reason why I was overweight. I seen a documentary called I actually talk about this in my book. I seen a documentary called Super Size Me when I was black. I don't know, it was like 2000 and probably 2004, around that time when I seen the documentary. And it broke down like this dude went around eating McDonald's supersized meal. Back in the days, you could supersize your meal. And he ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner at McDonald's. He got every meal supersized, and in 1 month, he gained 20 pounds. And in the documentary, he was showing like how the chicken nuggets was made, the buns, how the buns ain't never spoiled in McDonald's, and the process that the wheat went through. And like he was breaking down, he was breaking down what was going on with fast food. And the whole theme of the documentary was fast food is the reason why America is overweight. So that's when it got into my mind that fast food was the reason why I was gaining weight, because I was eating fast food 5 to 7 days a week for years, especially when I started really putting on weight. There's a lot of times I was eating fast food every day, at least once a day. And then a lot of times I would eat it twice a day. Like I would eat McDonald's breakfast and probably eat Popeyes for dinner or Checkers for dinner or something like that. You know what I mean? So in my mind, fast food was the issue. So if you ever felt like fast food was holding you back from losing the weight you want to lose, drop a 4 in the chat. Drop a 4 in the chat if you've ever felt like that. Let me see who I can help with this piece of information.
Sometimes my mom and my stepdad watch you.
For real?
Yeah.
That's live. D, what they do, man? Tamika, what's popping? Pretty Hustle, what's good? V Canada, okay, so check this. Here's the thing. I made a choice to stop eating fast food behind a heavy emotion. Like I hit an all-time low, and it was a heavy emotion that I went through one night. My wife started patting my chest. At the time, this was the year when it happened. At the time, during this period of my life in 2014, we was living in the Pine Island projects. You remember? You probably don't even remember that, Zayda. You was a little baby.
What?
When we were staying in the projects over there. Makai, you was just born. Both of y'all, you wouldn't remember that. But we was living in the projects, right? And my wife was poking at my chest, and she started giggling. And she was giggling, like laughing. And I'm like, there's my wife right here in the picture. She giggling. She got a little snicker, like she snickered, giggling. She keep poking at my chest. We laying in the bed. I'm like, what's so funny? She said, dang, babe, you getting titties. I appreciate Father's Day. That's love. She said, dang, babe, you getting titties. My wife told me that. She told me as a man, I had tits. And so, that's funny. Dang, that's funny, dog. Yeah, she told me that, man. My wife told me I had tits. Babe, you remember when you said that? Babe. You remember that? I done told this story. Look, I done told this story like 1,000 times. I'm so tired of hearing it. I'm going to keep telling it, though, because guess what? This was the moment that changed my life, because when he told me that, I got real sensitive, and I felt all the bad emotions, like, And then on top of that, it was all the other things I was going through at that, and choices that had led to where I was. I was at an all-time low at that period of my life. So, I remember I went in the bathroom. We got into an argument, and I went in the bathroom, and I like slammed the door, and I looked in the mirror. And when I was looking in the mirror, I realized I was holding my stomach in, like to make myself look smaller to myself in the mirror. I realized I was lying to myself without even using words. My mind went to racing this day. Like, I'll never forget this day. And so, if you got to go to lose weight, this might help you. Because when it comes to mindset, what happened for me was I was able to look at the truth in myself that day. Because I remember I looked in the mirror and I was like, dang, bro, you lying to yourself. Because I realized every time I looked in the mirror, I would hold my body to make it look not as big. Even when I was by myself, I was doing that. So I remember I just relaxed. And I was like, oh, and my stomach came out. My whole body looked different. And I was like, that's it. I'm done with fast food. I'm done. And the reason why I was able to really stop eating fast food was because I had this thought. I said, I'm still going to eat burgers and French fries. And I started getting curious. I was like, I wonder, is it really the fast food that's the issue? Because burger, I can make my own burger. If I want French fries, I can make my own French fries. I could just get French from the grocery store and fry them up myself. Or I could just cut up potatoes and fry them up myself. You know what I'm saying? If I really want to eat tacos, I just won't go to Taco. If I really want to eat, fried chicken, I'll make it myself. I just won't go to can y'all keep it down for me? Because you're starting to throw my concentration right here. Because I'm listening to y'all conversation, and I'm trying to have this conversation. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, so in my mind, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna still eat what I want to eat. I was still eating sandwiches. I was eating dinners, whatever. I just wasn't eating nothing out of fast food restaurants. So I was like, I could do that. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start weighing myself every single day, and I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see if I start losing weight. And so what I did. And within the first week, my weight coming down. And so I went from 260 pounds down to 230 pounds. Maybe 235. Right at range. I lost between 15 and 20 pounds from stopping fast food. And then my weight stopped. And so for 6 months, I was stuck on 235, and my weight was just kind of going like this. For 6 months, I ain't losing not another pound. And so I was like, dang. So I thought, because in my mind, I thought it was all the fast food. And so if you got to go to lose weight, this is another thing with mindset that I believe will help you if you're not already thinking about it. And I talk about this a lot. We got to be careful with beliefs that we have in our mind that we haven't put to the test and measured the results. Like, if we hear things on social media and it make logical sense, and we think we know the solution to something because of what we've heard that made logical sense, we got to be careful allowing ourselves to think that we know something like that. Because all those years went by, I believed all I had to do was stop eating fast food and I'd lose the weight that I wanted to lose, because I thought that I knew that fast food was the reason why America was overweight, because America was overweight because I had seen that on a documentary. And it made sense, so I believed it. But I never stopped eating fast food and weighed myself to measure the results. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, drop a 4 in the chat. We got to be careful with the false beliefs, the beliefs that we think we know something because we've heard something, but we haven't put it to the test and measured the results. All right, good. Because what happens is, for me, when I allowed myself to do that, I was seeing answers. Answers was coming into my perspective, but I wasn't noticing them because I thought that I already knew the answer to my weight. So I didn't have an open mind to seeing all the other options that could have helped me to lose weight, because I felt like all I needed to do was stop eating fast food. All right, so bam. 6 months went by. I wasn't losing no more weight. I seen the 4s dropping. Rebecca, what they do? Love and light. I see you. Tanya, what's up? Show enough. What's good? So, Miss Lady, what they do, man? So 6 months went by. I didn't go back to eating the fast food, but I wasn't losing more weight. And so I was like, dang. I'll never forget the day I came into the awareness and I learned about the enrichment process. So, and I talk about it all the time. I'm gonna keep talking about it. This piece of information is what led me to being a natural light, creating natural light, and my book and everything. This was the piece of information that put me on the path when I learned about the enrichment process. So let me ask you, if you're unfamiliar with the enrichment process and its relationship to weight gain, drop a 4 in the chat. If you're unfamiliar, because I want to see who I can help with this piece of information. If everybody already know, I'll keep moving. If you're unfamiliar with the enrichment process and its relationship to weight gain, drop a 4 in the chat. See what I'm saying? I love it. Young, what they do? Shay, what's popping? Vanessa, sister, what they do? 11. Okay, Jennifer, what's good? Grim, what they do? Okay. Okay. I want to stay on topic. I've been noticing some comments, but I want to stay on topic, and I'm kind of rushing against time. Now, I ain't even make my sandwich yet. All right, so the enrichment process is a process that you could bring. First of all, it's an ultra chemical process. So we've all heard of ultra processed. We've all heard of processed foods. But I always thought when it came to processed foods, my mind took me for some reason, I don't know why. When I think of processed foods, the first food I think about is a Twinkie. I don't know why that is. Look, show us that.
It's a tulip.
Zeta just drew that tulip. Drop some fire emojis in the comments. Come look get on the camera so they can see. Drop some fire emojis if that look live. This is my niece. Be quiet, man. Hey, look. Okay, look, friend like it right here. Drop some fire emojis if you like it. Look, Shelby like it. Diva like it. SYL, what they do. Makai, show them yours. Get on the camera. Both. This Makai, this our son, Makai. Ooh, they some artists, man. They really know how to draw good for real. Which is super lit. Man, where was I at? I was saying, the enrichment process. Let me stay on track because I'm rushing against time for real. I might not even be able to make this sandwich for real. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to make it. Can you, big favor, Makai?
Yep.
Can you put this bread in the toaster and bring me a paper plate and a butter knife?
All right.
Bet that up. And so, the enrichment process is an ultra processed food that you can bring rice. You talked to Freisha yet? Can you text Freisha or call her? Because in case you try to call my phone, tell her I'm on the live. Bet. So you can bring rice through the enrichment process, wheat through the enrichment process, and corn through the enrichment process. It's a chemical process that was created in the late 1940s. And it's a process where, let's talk about wheat for now. Like wheat make this bread, for example. I still eat bread to this day. I had to learn about this to where I was losing weight still eating bread. Because I used to feel like bread, I needed to cut it out, the carbs. I felt like it was the carbs. But now I know all carbs ain't the same. And so, and now they saying the gluten, like you got to get off the gluten. Well, I lost 100 pounds eating gluten. You know what I mean? So it ain't all the same. So talking about wheat, the enrichment process is they use chemicals to remove the life germ from the wheat grain. The grain of wheat has a life germ in it. It's the softest part of the grain. That's the actual part of the grain which makes it a seed. You could put a wheat grain on the ground, it'll grow another wheat plant. It tripped me out when I thought about that. My whole life, I've never looked at rice as a seed. You know what I mean? Like corn, each kernel of corn is a seed for another corn plant. Each grain of rice is a seed for another rice plant. Each grain of wheat is a seed for another wheat plant. I never thought about that, man. Especially rice. When I was rice is our seeds. But the inside of each one of those grains, it got a life germ. It's the same thing in my mind when I look at it. It's the same thing as like a person. A person, our life germ is like the semen. All the elements of life is inside the life germ. So that's the part of the grain that's the softest part of the grain, and that's the part of the grain that will spoil and go bad if you don't sell it fast enough. So they created the enrichment process to remove it. They remove the life germ from the grain, and what's left is an empty calorie, an empty grain. There's no energy in it. And what they do, they add synthetic nutrients to replace the natural nutrients that was lost during the enrichment process. The problem is our bodies don't break down the synthetic nutrients the same way as the natural nutrients that was inside the life germ. So this is why it leads to weight gain. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about, man, because I'm about to have to get up out of here. I'm trying to get this. Let me show you. I'm trying to show you something real quick before I get up out of here. Watch this. Because this is pretty wild. I'm looking for the, here we go. All right. Let me show you because I'm a visual learner. Is that bread ready? Look, so this is an example of wheat flour, right? Makai, where you at, man? I thought I asked you to bring me a plate and a knife, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's ready.
It's all good. Let me get that bread too. So this is the example of wheat flour, right? So this is made from the wheat grain, but this is enriched. And if you notice right here, I don't want to get too close to the camera because a lot of times they'll flag my live. But it's a bleached enriched. So it's showing you right there on the live. Not like a...
Oh, but no.
Yeah, I bet. And a paper plate. And
You don't have any more.
for real? All right, don't worry about it. But then sometimes this is how you can identify, appreciate you. This is how you can identify if something is enriched or not. I'm not even gonna use the plate. It'll say it in the ingredients. You'll see the synthetic nutrients added to the grain. And you can see it right here in the ingredients. It's a bleached wheat flour, then here go the synthetic niacin, iron, thiamine mononitrate, riboflavin, folic acid, enzymes. So it's right there in the ingredients. If it makes sense how to identify enriched flour, drop a 4 in the chat. If that made sense how the enrichment process leads to weight gain, drop a 4 in the chat. If now you can identify, okay, this was made with enriched flour, drop a 4 in the chat. Let me see who locked in. Shay, what they do? Teresa, good. All right, good. So if you, okay, nice. So here goes good news. Just like they sell the enriched flour in the store, they sell flour that wasn't put through the enrichment process. So here go an example of a flour. In the ingredients, right here, all it says is wheat flour, contains wheat, compared to bleached wheat flour, niacin, iron, thiamine mononitrate, riboflavin, folic acid, enzymes. So when I switched from the enriched flour and products made with the enriched flour to the natural flour and products made with the natural flour, I went to losing weight, still eating flour. Still eating bread, still eating pasta, cookies, cakes, pastries. Because you got to look, flour make a lot of different things. I'm about to make this veggie sandwich real quick, man. Look, we doing a Father's Day sale. I break everything down in my book, how to identify all the right versions of the food that you like to eat. We've helped thousands lose weight with this book, Life Matters, So Let's Eat Like It. If you got to go to lose weight, it will help. Got our Father's Day sale website link on the top of my homepage on all platforms, underneath my profile picture. If you want to grab a copy, feel free. All right? I'm about to make this sandwich. If anybody, if it makes sense how you can identify natural flour compared to enriched flour, drop a yes in the chat. If it don't make sense, drop a no in the chat. Let me see who locked in, man. All right. Let me see who locked in on this live. I'll make this veggie sandwich because we about to go to the movies and I ain't even eat yet. And I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer a few questions while we on this live, and then I'll probably wrap it up after that, man. I see the yeses. I see way more yeses. I actually seen one no. Deb, I'm sorry. If I had a little more time, I'd break it down to you. But hold on, because all right, so what I want to do now, right? I'm going to show you this. I'm about to make a veggie sandwich. Notice this bread. Now, when it comes bread, and let's just look at bread for now. I used to get like the Nature's Own honey wheat bread, but it's made with enriched flour. So I used to feel like it was made with wheat flour because it was called Nature's Own honey wheat bread. But they use the wheat flour, but it's enriched. It say it right in the ingredients. So this why I'm always saying read the ingredients. One of the chapters of my book is titled Read the Ingredients. And so right here in the ingredients of this bread, it says organic whole wheat flour, water, honey, wheat gluten, yeast, sea salt, and sesame. That's all that's in this. You feel me? So this is a bread that I like. We got this from Publix out of the bakery. And so I grew this cucumber out of the garden right behind the house right here. That's another thing. That's why I wrote, the more we grow, the more we'll see. Everything we need is free. This also is another one of my books. And we also got our family cookbook. We wrote it together as a family. This is my family right here. And we actually hit #1 on multiple categories on Amazon for all my books. But this 62 natural light recipes that fit the principles of my book, Life Matters, So Let's Eat Like It. But I'm finna cut this cucumber out. I love cucumbers. This is a veggie sandwich that is super easy to make, but you'll be surprised, man. Like, I used to always feel like I needed sandwich meat on sandwiches. I don't even know how old I was the first time I actually tried a veggie sandwich. I think I definitely was into my 30s. Like, I probably was about 35 before I ate a veggie sandwich, for real. Now I like veggie sandwiches more than sandwiches with sandwich meat. It's because how I do it, though. It's just truffle sea salt right here. This sea salt makes everything taste better. So I'm going to drop a little truffle sea salt on here. Here goes some lettuce right here. That's left over. I'm going to drop this in here. I'm going to take a little bit more of this lettuce because I like lettuce on my sandwiches. Watch how this come together. This is pickled red onions. We made these homemade. I'm just going to drop a little bit of this pickled juice on this lettuce. A little of sea salt, or truffle sea salt, and a little bit of cracked black pepper. And then I'm going to mix this up. Bam. Watch how this sandwich come together. My wife was sauteed some bell peppers yesterday. She had some leftovers, so I'm going to use some of these bell peppers. She made burritos last night. That was busting. As a matter of fact, tacos. I had fish tacos last night. And them things were so good. Now I'm going to drop these bell peppers on top of this like this. So the cucumber came out the garden. The bell peppers we got out the grocery store. This tomato right here came straight out the garden. We got tomatoes coming in crazy right now. And I cut it wrong way. Watch this. Now I'm putting these tomatoes on this sandwich. From fresh out the garden. Wham. What I want to do right now, right? Because I'm trying to hurry up because my sister about to get here. We got to go to the movie. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on a time schedule. If I'm missing any comments, apologies. I'm just trying to show you how I make this veggie sandwich real quick. A little more cracked black pepper at this point. And a little bit more truffle sea salt on these tomatoes. This tomato tastes so good. What it is, like, you could taste the difference with grow, like, produce. It tastes so much different than what's in the grocery store. And then it's so much more satisfying. What's up? Oh, I thought you was about to ask me something. No. All right. And it's just more satisfying. And I realize now that I gained 100 pounds. The real issue, what I think is for the weight problem in America, the real issue, I believe, is the fact that it boils down to not enough of us understand culture, and not enough of us understand acquire land, because it's unfortunate we're in a situation where it's a small percentage of us that are actually land owners. There's a few people that own the majority of the land. So because of that, we're in a position where we're depending on other people to produce our food from the land, and then also it's not enough of us that understand manufacturing and actual like cooking, like how to prepare food and what goes on to putting food together. And so because of that lack of awareness, we're in the position that we're in now. Like, we got to depend on other people to provide us what we need. And it's unfortunate because oftentimes they don't have our best interests at heart. Otherwise, they wouldn't be putting all these synthetic chemicals and all this stuff in the food. If they really cared about us, they wouldn't be doing that. So that's why I got to go to help over 1 million people start to grow their own food. And it's a process, man. Like, it ain't no overnight situation. But what I've noticed is, for a lot of my life, I complained. Like, I was like, man, they don't care about us. You know what I'm saying? Like, this country don't care about me. They want to see me die. That's why they make all this bad food, and that's why they da-da-da-da-da. And it's just all doom and gloom, and I kind of just complained about it. You know what I mean? But it was a waste of time. Like, anything worth having, we got to work for it, man. Like, we got to put in the effort. We got to understand the process. We got to go through the process of learning it. And it's unfortunate a lot of us don't come from families that for generations have been going through these processes and have these systems in place. Most of us don't come from that type of education. So guess what? Good news. It's online available right now. All the information to do all these things is right on YouTube. There's videos that just break down how to do everything step by step. ChatGPT is a free app with artificial intelligence. You can ask ChatGPT and get answers for all the questions that you want. I'm telling you, like, the information is sitting right on the phone that you're holding right now. Be able to do whatever it is that you want to accomplish. But we got to go through the process of actually applying what we learned and mastering it. And it takes years. But the more of us that choose to do that, when it comes to agriculture and when it's to acquiring land and using that land for agriculture and setting up systems of operation so we could provide a better product to our people, the more of us that do that, the more it's going to be hard to charge us the amount of money they're charging us for food. They got all type of explanations and reasons why the prices is going up for food. It don't make no sense, man. When you look inside this cucumber that I just grew, right? Just in this one little slice, there go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seeds. You could literally see 5 seeds in this one little area of this cucumber. This one cucumber probably got over 100 seeds in it. One cucumber plant gonna grow, who knows, 10, 20, 30 cucumbers. So that means if it's 100 seeds, that's growing 30 cucumbers. That's 3,000 cucumbers from this one plant. And you trying to tell me that this is an expensive thing? I'm not buying it, man. The only reason why they could charge what they're charging is because we don't know how to do it for ourselves. If it makes sense what I just said, drop a yes in the chat. If it don't make sense what I just said, drop a no in the chat. I'm about to smash this sandwich right now. Look at this veggie sandwich. Look how I look. Ooh! I'm about to smash it. What happened here? Internet connection. Dang. The live just got canceled on Facebook. That's just... I see you, Tanya, what they do, man. I'm about to jump right back on real quick while I'm eating the sandwich. All right, so in the meantime, while I eat this sandwich before I get up out of here, if anybody got any questions about weights or anything that we went over, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I want to answer a few questions before I get up out of here. What kind of bread is that? This is honey wheat bread. I need a napkin. This is honey wheat bread from Publix. But most importantly with this bread is made with natural flour and not the ultra processed enriched flour. How do you feel about Ozempic? I get why people use it. I actually took It was called Liposine back in the day. It was a pill. If you remember Liposine, drop a 4 in the chat. It was all over the place. Like, it was infomercials that was talking about Liposine, commercials on. It was a weight loss pill. And I took the Liposine to lose weight. And what I think it is, like, why I believe that I did it is because I was programmed into feeling like dope, like drugs, normal, like prescription drugs, Tylenol, Advil, over-the-counter drugs, and then all the street drugs that are all over the place. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just drugs are everywhere. So I just felt like, whatever, like, you know, there's a purpose for them. And so, and another thing too, like, I didn't want to stop eating what I liked. I didn't want to stop eating what I like to eat. You know what I mean? I used to feel like eating healthy food, I don't like the way it tastes. So that's why I took it, you know. And so I believe that that's with Liposine, I believe that that's why it's doing good as far as business-wise, why so many people are using their money on it. But the side effects, man, the side effects, it's not solving the real issue. The real issue is if I'm overweight, right? The real issue for me was I was unaware of really how I was overweight. I was unaware of how to identify synthetic ingredients, how to identify processed foods, why my body was able to break it down the same. I didn't go through the process of education to learn the long-term effects of eating these foods. When I was young, I could eat anything and stay skinny. It wasn't got into my later 20s I started putting on weight. And then I blew up. You know what I mean? And so the real issue was the way I was choosing to consume what I was consuming. Good news, everything that I like to eat, it can be made in a natural form. Pasta can be natural. Bread can be natural. Pizza can be natural. I was eating steak. I was eating meat and all that. I was losing weight. Chicken and all that. I was losing weight. Rice can be natural. You know what I mean? Burritos can be natural. All the different type of food dessert combinations, everything could be made in its natural form. What's unfortunate is most of the food that's sold that's pre-made, it's not. But good news, all the ingredients that you need to make everything that you like are available in grocery stores or online. So if I can't find it made with all the right ingredients, I can buy the ingredients and make it myself. What do you recommend for protein shakes? That's a topic I don't really like to talk about. I don't like to talk about protein shakes because I don't drink them. You know what I mean? Nina, that's enough. So I don't really like to talk on them. A lot of the protein shakes, there are a lot of synthetic ingredients involved. The powdered drinks and powdered food options, I avoid just because when I look at it, it reminds me of dope. It just reminds me of dope looking at it. When I look at it, it look like dope. Mina, that's enough, man. Freesia here? That's why she barking like that. So that's why I avoid those. To feel like okay, I used to feel like like it was like, for example, I don't eat that much animal flesh anymore. But I lost 80 pounds still eating it pretty much every single day. So animal flesh wasn't really the big deal for me when it comes to weight loss. Same with dairy. It was more so the processed foods. But I feel like when I was getting off the animal flesh, like I would need, like, how was I gonna substitute the protein? And then too, like, a lot of people want to do protein shakes for like exercising. It blew my mind when I found out that all fruits and vegetables contain protein. That blew my mind. I was like, what? So we've been programmed. This is what I believe. Like, I believe in protein because I heard that 1,000 million times growing up. Like, if you exercise and you want to gain muscle mass, you need protein and carbs. But meanwhile, to give me a piece of meat and put it under a microscope and tell me to identify the protein molecule, I don't even know what a protein molecule looked like. So, same with a calorie. Like, I lost the weight without counting calories. It blew my mind when I realized I was counting calories, but I don't even know how to identify what a calorie looked like. Think about what I'm saying. All right, doggies. All right, Mina. Okay, that's enough. Mina, that's enough. What up? What up? I'm gonna wrap it up like this because we about to get up out of here. Think about what I'm saying though. If you haven't thought about this, if someone were to take a piece of this bread and put it underneath the microscope and give you a little pointer pen and say, identify the calorie molecule. If you couldn't do that before in the chat, if you could not identify the calorie molecule looking under a microscope, drop a 4 in the chat. Keep it real. Let's see who's going to keep it real on this live. Cito wouldn't know what it looked like. Tanya wouldn't know. Rebecca wouldn't know. JV, what they do. I appreciate that. Marissa's love. Mom wouldn't know. Courtney, what's up? Back. So how is it that so many people are counting calories? How was I counting calories when I don't even know how to identify one visually? When I realized that, I was like, dog, I was programmed into a box, like a straight robot, like a bot. I was a bot when it came to calories. And I'm real enough to admit that to myself. I was a bot. Like, how I'm counting calories, and I don't even know. I never even thought to think, what does a calorie look like? But I'm counting them. What I was counting were numbers on a box. Before I end the live, people want to know what's on the sandwich. Natural bread, tomatoes from out the garden, cucumbers, romaine lettuce, bell peppers, mayo mustard, pickled jalapenos, pickled onions, truffle sea salt, cracked black pepper, and olive oil. And this thing is busting. This thing was busting. The back of the box, it says calories. They give you a number, and that's how you count them. But that was actually my point. That's what I was counting to know. And this is the last say, because here's the funny thing about calories. And I wish I had more time, I could do a visual proof of this, but start paying attention. A lot of times when I look for the natural version of whatever it is that I want to eat, and I look at the calories, how many calories it has. For example, like I might get some chips that are like cooked in avocado oil and have sea salt on them. So it's potato, avocado oil, and sea salt, right? It might have 160 calories per serving. And then I'll look at the Doritos, and they got 120 calories per serving. And there's a list of chemicals this long. So if I'm looking to count calories, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm trying to lose weight and I'm trying to eat less calories, and that's going to help me lose weight, Doritos got less calories than the natural chips with avocado oil and sea salt. And what happened when I switched from the Doritos and chips with all type of chemicals and processed synthetic ingredients all through the product, and I switched to the natural chips, my weight started coming down. Because how I know is because I made the switch and I was weighing myself every day. If that makes sense, what I just said, drop a 4 in the chat. So I'm not all that calories and proteins and cholesterol and carbohydrates and all these big scientific words that people use, I believe are distractionary at its core. Like I believe that there's a creator of all things. I believe that there's a God that created everything. I also believe that there's a devil that rules deceit and deception. And I believe one of the devil's biggest tricks to make simple things complicated. I think one of the devil's biggest tricks is to make simple things complicated. And then you got educated people that consider themselves educated because they're using all these big words. And then when you ask them a question, they give you a whole explanation with 35 big words in it, and it don't make no sense what they talking about. And then they looking at you like you ignorant. No, that's not what's going on. It's just a trick of the devil, and a lot of people feel like it's a thing. Like, to be smart, I got to understand all these big scientific words. Like riboflavin is a B vitamin. Thiamine mononitrate is a vitamin, right? But these are big scientific words that are confusing. Why don't you just say it's a vitamin? And then thiamine mononitrate, right? Or let's say riboflavin, right? That's a B. That's in potatoes. It's also in pig blood. It's also in human flesh. Riboflavin. We got riboflavin in our flesh, right? It's a B vitamin, right? But you can isolate that from somewhere and then bring it through a process of chemistry, turning it into a synthetic vitamin, which is a white powder. I'm not buying that synthetic riboflavin is the same thing as the riboflavin that's inside of a potato. That white powder that they derived from pig blood and isolated the compound and then synthesized it and brought it down into a white powder. I'm not buying that that's the same thing as the riboflavin that's in a potato, but they got the exact same name. The white powder is called riboflavin, and the B vitamin inside the potato is called riboflavin. That to me is tricky. And that's why they say the devil speak with a forked tongue. You can hide a truth with a truth and make it a lie. Riboflavin is what it's called. The powder riboflavin is what it's called. Two truths, but it's a lie that they're both the same thing, but they both got the same name. So it gets confusing. My brothers and sisters, I hope this live helped. My name is Jabez. I lost 100 pounds still eating the food that I love to eat. This was me in 2014. But I did it still eating the food that I like to eat. That's why I wrote Life Matters, So Let's Eat Like It, to explain how I did it. It's not hard. If you got to go to lose weight, this book will help. We dropped our family cookbook, 62 natural light recipes that fit these principles. These books will help if you want to lose weight. If you got to go to grow food, I make it super simple how to do it. It's not complicated. You don't have to have a green thumb. That's why I wrote, the more we grow, the more we'll see everything we need is free, because it is. Like I said, this one little piece of this cucumber, there's 5 cucumber seeds right here. You can see them. This cucumber seeds grew out of cucumber that I grew in my garden. This one cucumber probably got 100 cucumber seeds in it. I could grow 100 cucumber plants, producing probably 3,000 cucumbers for free. For free. But yet and still, they're charging whatever, $4 for a cucumber in the grocery store. I hope this live helped. If you want to grab a copy of the books, feel free. We're doing a Father's Day sale. I got our website link on the top of my homepage underneath my profile picture. I got to get up out of here. What's up? Blessings up.